here we are. It's week 4, the week known as check-in. The way the slide deck is set up for you in week 4, the goal is mostly what you should be doing is staying focused, staying clear, and working to maintain an open mind. After you've been working on something for such a long time, and this is your 4th week into it, it's possible that things might feel like they're not going to get done. It might feel like the organizational work is difficult. It could be that you're trying to contact people in your town and they're not getting back to you, and that could be challenging. So, what I want you to consider is the organizational part could feel really big, and it's okay if some parts are not finished, that you don't have closure, because 5 weeks is just starting to scratch the surface on a project like this. So, in order to keep things centered and close at hand, you need to stay open-minded, and you probably should spend some time assessing what you're capable of. That is the thing that you have control of. You do want people to help you work on this project. It's going to need assistance if it's going to be an actual civic engagement project that ends up taking off. You can interview people and you can come up with potential community contacts that can help you with your design, but in order to get your project working, you're going to have to reach out to people and have them come on board somehow. This project was designed in 2020, the year of COVID-19, and it is a challenging time, to be sure. In order to organize and work effectively, we all are balancing really carefully all of the different requirements that we have and all of our responsibilities. It's challenging. So anyway, what I want you to do is when you come into week 4, the first 5 slides are for you to go through. You may want to go straight to the daily map and look it over. What it asks you to do is to take your brochure and review the first slides, 2 through 6, to reflect on your work. Then you're going to go to the copy that you made of your own feedback loop notes based on Jamie's. I want you to spend some time on that and see if what you have written there is really complete. Hopefully it is. And if so, share that with somebody else. Make sure that you could explain it to someone else in that one-page format of those notes, which I know you remember what I'm talking about. It was the 5-phase model on one page that I have right here. So you should have a copy of this that you made for yourself. And you're going to want to get some feedback on that from someone else. The goal of getting that feedback is that if parts don't seem like they're that familiar to others that have really been following you on this project, and it seems like it's not really, maybe you can't progress past week 3, and that's okay for now. Maybe it's going to take you a little longer and you have to come back to it. That's totally fine. But the goal of week 4 is to make sure that that action plan is really nailed down and that you have a way to review your work. That's where the open mind comes in. So in week 4, it's crucial that you look at your brochure, your website model, make sure those are things that will fit with your public and civic engagement strategies. There's different ways to do this. One of the ways that you might want to do a little check-in is if you go to the civic engagement resource page and look at some of these. The tools to develop vision with support are good. The position statement one you've probably studied already, but I would look around and see what you see on this page. There might be some resources that can help you figure out how to strengthen what you're doing and stay open-minded. In fact, this one, slide 8, which we haven't really talked about yet, I'm going to go there and show it to you. So it's the introduction to social change roles. And what this person in the video does is she does a really great job explaining the way to map social change and the different requirements that it takes to have a group of people who have signed on and taken roles, different roles. And so I really like the content in this. If you click on this one and go view this guide, it's going to help you look at the different ways people can work together to design something, and it's called the Mapping Your Ecosystem Guide. So, which is really great because working towards change is really difficult. It takes a lot of long amounts of time. These are the different roles that the developer of this, Deepa Iyer, had come up with. And so it would be really informative for you to sit down and look at this. Probably it's optional. That's why it's not linked to the daily map. But it might be a really good way to recenter you and help figure out what you need to do from here on out. So I wanted to share that with you. Before we get to week 5, that's what that is. Week 4 is going to have you do several things. So you're going to check and make sure your brochure and website model are linked and are collaborative. As they get finished, and this is the week where you finalize those, you are going to basically kind of slow down a little bit. You'll notice that these two slides are very similar, and that's because you're really just in a place where you're starting to not pick up much speed, but really extend what's in your brochure and your website and to start working on a speech. So right here at the bottom of this slide, week 4, day 2, it says work on the speech outline page of the notes for action plan. So what that means is after you get done with week 3 in the notes for action plan, you're going to start on week 4. And what that means is you're getting closer to the home stretch. I've taken some of the things from the slides we were just looking at and pasted them in here. I know it seems a little bit duplicated sometimes, but it's better to have it here and then not have to bounce back and forth sometimes. A lot of what's in the slides is to get you thinking, and then a lot of what is in the Notes for Action Plan document is to get you making things. Again, here is another link to that Civic Engagement Resources page that we were just at, which is a good place to search. And this is the speech outline page of your Notes for Action Plan. It tells you what you need to do to start thinking about it, and it says it doesn't hurt, for you to go back and look at slide 21, which I think is a really great way to focus your energy on this outline for the speech. So slide 21, which is only a few slides back, was when I asked Jamie all these follow-up questions about how they had identified the need for the farmers market, found the stakeholders, what were the initial thoughts, and how did you find out if the project was successful? And this was an optional resource for week 3. But as I was creating this outline, who I am and where I live is important. The description of the targeted action to address the defined need is important because, what's the name of it? How long is it going to take? But then I think the questions that I asked Jamie would be really beneficial for you to answer and put in your speech. How did you identify the need for your project? It should probably be your project, not the farmer's market. How did you find the stakeholders? Who did you ask to start creating a list of names? What were the initial thoughts related to visibility for your project? How will you know if your project is successful? I think if you could put all of those things together in your outline, which is here, slide 25, you'd be all set. And then what you're going to do next is write your speech. And that is the end of week 4. Once your speech is done and you've written that, then you're ready to engage with giving the speech. So that's it for week 4.